It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time for us now to talk North Central netball. Let's have a look back at what happened last week. And joining me on the line is Jenna Allen. She's back again. How are you, Jenna?
I'm good, thanks, Jason. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Hey, before we talk about the netball, actually, Flowman and I were talking earlier in the show about Ricky's comeback on the weekend. The footballers went down by a point, but what was that like, sitting back, watching the partner go at it again? Because, I mean, he had one of the worst football injuries I think I've ever heard of. So that must have been a bit nerve-wracking.
He did. Well, he actually had his original comeback, his first comeback game, sorry. He's a bit of a John Farnham. He likes to just come back every now and again. But his first one, he flew under the radar a little bit, was against Charlton.
Right.
And he got through that okay, but he's a little bit sore. He's spending a fair bit of time lately in the sheep yard chasing sheep, so he's finding a few old man injuries, will I say, or dare I say. So Saturday he did make another comeback, recovered after Charlton and then come back on the weekend against Wedderburn, but hurt himself again in the first quarter, I think. So I was oblivious to the whole lot. I was over at the netball, which is probably not such a bad thing, but he's determined. I'll give him that. It was a horrific injury, so he's done a hell of a lot of work to get back to the point of being able to play. So, even if he can only last one quarter at a time.
Yeah, well, no, good on him for having another crack, but geez, yeah, that was when I heard the extent of that injury. Obviously, we're all thinking of him because he's a good friend of this program and has been the correspondent for a bit of time. But I guess sometimes we don't think of the partners who've got to sit back and watch this train wreck unfold.
No, it was definitely an experience at the time. I think I was 29 weeks pregnant when he did it. So it was a pretty rough few weeks. You definitely see a side of your partner through the birth suite, I guess, when you have kids. But I think breaking a hip and going through all of that was probably taking a commitment to our marriage and another level. It's come out better and stronger, but he's been told firmly that he's not to do that injury again.
And rightly so. But let's talk about the netball now, and we'll talk about your game first, which proved Narraport Wedderburn. You got to see this juggernaut up close and personal, and I know you've seen it before, but they were pretty impressive on the weekend. We found ourselves in awe, particularly in the second half of the game. They really put the foot down after half time. Felt like I think we were within 7 at quarter time, and we were sort of in the contest. There were mistakes on our end, but we felt like we were in it. And then probably third quarter they won it 29-10. They really asserted themselves from their speed across the court, out of defence. They attack balls. Lara Judd and Maddie Holt, again, just huge for them. They play a really smart zone box defence, and we just found it really difficult to penetrate from defence. So full credit to them. They work really hard. Olivia Lockhart in wing defence, little quiet assassin, but her ability to jump, then run and carry the ball through the mid-court with Meg Lockhart was really impressive to watch. So I probably should have been paying a bit more attention, but I was, very impressive netball. So it's good. It's something that, we really strive to. We talked about it at training. We really need to be looking at that level of netball. We need to carry that for 60 minutes, not 30 minutes. Yeah. Well, when you're playing a team like that, sometimes it can feel like there's double the amount out there that actually are out there. But at the end of the day, a good result offensively to score 35 against what is a brilliant defensive team. But for them to put up 84, obviously, they're a step above most. So, 49-goal win for them. But when you look at it, you think 35 goals would have beaten 2 or 3 other teams on the weekend. So I guess you take that as the positive, right?
I think for us, the positives that we've spoken about, Susanna Fawcett is coming back this season after doing her ACL last year. She's playing some really impressive netball, so really smart, aggressive sort of netball. She's attacking the ball really well, and she's combining well with Georgia Brown. So I think on Saturday for us, she really interrupted their flow of play in that goal ring, made them go for the second and third phase, which was really good for us because, you know, it meant we were sort of adapting from what we played against them in round 2. Some really positive things, but their game across court, they used all 7 players. I swear there was more than seven of them on Saturday. It felt like there was 12 of them, but really impressive. They used all 7 of them on court. All of them defend, all of them attack. It's a full team effort. So I think, definitely things to take away for us. But our defensive end was, really, really impressive despite the 49 goal difference.
Yeah. Well, on the upside, it wasn't the heaviest defeat of the weekend. So let's talk about this one and try and unpack it.
Yep.
Donald and Sanana doing a good job just to get a team on the court, but Donald 92, Sanana 21. I don't know what else more we can say.
No, as I said, they've pretty much got, Sanana are playing their 17s, are playing 2 games each week, pretty much. So there's the likes of your Tegan Amos and Isabel Hander doing some really good things, and they're winning games in 17. So that's really promising for their young girls to be winning games in 17s, knowing and then heading into a full 60 minutes of hard A-grade netball against some really impressive sides. So I think they're just similar to the approach we took after a big loss on the weekend. You've just got to find the pressure points of what you can improve on and, chip away at it each week. So I think for them, building their youth and getting that experience, which is being in that position where, you're suffering some really big losses and it can be really, really tough going, but particularly at this point in the season. But they need to just keep chipping away, keep working on improving that scoreline and doing the best they can.
Yeah, and the small victories along the way, the games within a game, I guess that's the things that Sanana can control, and anyone who's playing Wedderburn at the moment can control. Just, you try and score 8 a quarter or whatever little goals you set yourself along the way. And if Sanana do that and they achieve them, then I guess that'll feel a little bit less like the weight of the world's on your shoulders, because when you're getting beaten by big margins every week, it can feel like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the difference for us, even though we had a big loss on the weekend. You know in yourself and you've played a good game, so I guess the coaching staff is going to be critical in, keeping them focused on controlling the controllables, I guess, and, making sure their own unforced errors are kept tight and they're improving week to week on their connections between the girls that they've got. On the weekend, they were severely depleted with COVID and illnesses and that sort of thing, so I do really feel for them. So I guess just chipping away at it is probably the key.
Yep. The last 2 matches were tight ones. Let's talk about these. First of all, the close one of the weekend was Charlton taking on Sea Lake Nandaly at home. And, well, maybe it was the home court advantage. Maybe it was just the fact they were in front at the right time, because when you win by 1 goal, there is nothing in that. 35-34, toss of a coin, Charlton win. Yeah,
and we predicted it was going to be really tight, really close. And from what we'd seen from Charlton a few weeks back, it could be won and lost very easily. So very evenly matched sides. I think Sea Lake's defence extremely experienced in comparison to Charlton's youth. And down the back end, a different sort of ball game as well. So, I think a terrific game, and definitely could have gone either way. Scores held pretty tightly across the entire game. Just hard fought netball, so both sides goaling relatively accurately and capitalising on any mistakes. That it was just a very even contest, which is really good to see.
Yep, absolutely. And look, Birchip Watcham needed to create an upset at some point to tack back onto the main group and make it a genuine race in 6, and they did that, 47-39. I reckon you tipped this as well.
No, I did. I tipped against them.
Did you?
There were no match. I said there were no match for Boards mid-court.
Oh, well, that's right. Okay, yeah.
First up, I wanted to get to the crux of this. What happened? Where did it go right? Where did it go wrong for both sides? So Board travelled to Birchip. So I think home ground advantage, big thing in these tight matches from here on out. But Birchip made a few changes to what they've had recently and really switched on in goals this week, and I think delivered some really accurate play and really built confidence out of their defence to deliver in goals, which gave everyone a boost of confidence. And I think they attacked the ball with a renewed sense of confidence and just a much better attitude to, we are going to win this. So by all accounts, it caught Bort's defensive unit a little bit off guard. So they got off to a slower start. Hannah Cook for Birchip just continued going from strength to strength. She played a B grade for Birchip last year. She stepped up into A grade and she hasn't missed a beat so far. So great to see her going each week, going really well and being the backbone at such a young age and just being that stable goalkeeper. So, but Maddie Marks for Birchip in goal attack was a big difference for them. So good to see them build and get that win that they needed. And I guess Sport will probably take away from a slower start and try and recover that this week.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess now a quick look at the ladder and forget Wedderburn. They're out on top, 3 games clear. They'll finish minor premiers. But then you go from 2 till 6 and it's a logjam. There's 2 games between Birchip in 6th and Bort in second spot on the ladder, and Birchip just beat Bort. So it tells you how tight things are, and I don't know that that's going to change. Well, one thing we do know is that 6 into 4 doesn't go.
No, that's right. And I think what'll be interesting, there is a few girls that are heading away to some warmer weather, so jumping on the opportunity, given that we haven't been able to travel in the last few years. We've got a few key players across a few of those teams that are heading overseas for a little bit. So it'll be really interesting to see what the impact and what the shuffle on some of those teams will be as a result of losing a couple.
Interesting. Well, let's have a look at round 10 of matches this weekend, and there are some pretty important games amongst them. Look, I want to get this one out of the way first of all because the other 3 games that we're going to look at are all very, very important games, but every game that St Arnaud play at the moment is an important game for them. They'll get experience into the younger ones, but they're about to get a netballing lesson from Wedderburn. We don't. I don't really necessarily. I don't think we even care what the score is going to be here. Wedderburn are going to win by as much as they probably want to win by, but St Arnaud, you just hope that they stick at it, set their goals, and achieve them, whatever those goals might be.
Yeah, I hope they've got a few numbers back this week from illness, and I hope they're all back to sort of some restored health. But if Wedderburn continue on the path or the trajectory that they're on at the moment, I would suggest that, St Arnaud are in for a fair lesson in netball. But I think a lot to be taken out of it. There's some really smart and strategic zone match play there that, it's an opportunity. So trying to work out how to cut through and how to slow their run and how to, really capitalise on any turnovers that you get, albeit very minimal in our case. That was just flawless. So I sound like I'm a bit starstruck, which I think I sort of was, but I think for St Arnaud, just working really hard to concentrate on their own game and just doing the best they can when they get possession. Ultimately, they've got possession every second centre pass, so ensuring that they don't waste those opportunities.
Yeah, at least get a shot on goal. You're right, and. Look, I know this, it all sounds terribly disrespectful, and I don't want to be, and I'm not trying to be, far from it. I'm trying to be as encouraging as I can. I'm not sure how to handle this situation as a scribe of sorts looking at it, because we don't see it that often where you've got a team like Wedderburn who are so good, and then you've got a team like St Arnaud, which are really battling at the moment. All we want to do is encourage them to stick at it and keep going. And I'm sure they will. They're made of stern stuff. Otherwise, you wouldn't be putting a team out there.
No.
I think they've just got to be you got to pat them on the back for that, and at least fronting up every week.
Yeah, and see, look, Wedderburn have got, it was only a couple of years ago, Wedderburn's A grade side, 3, maybe 4 of them are now playing in their B grade side.
Yep.
So over a really long period of time, they've benefited from some, really consistent and good commitment. So they're doing the extra hard yards in the fitness sessions each week, and they're all really committed, and they really enjoy their netball. So again, something to be really, something that we all, aspire to is that level of commitment and passion, and to hang in there for that many years, the likes of having the luxury of a Laurel Prowse and a Sophie Taylor in B grade is astronomical to me. They're phenomenal A grade players that have played in quite a few of their premierships, and they're not needed in their A grade side this year because they've got, the luxury of having the youth and drive of Eliza and Olivia Lockhart, that's what you want to be. So I think, you can choose to look at it negatively and try and pick it apart, but I think it's great for our league that that's what we want, that's what we're chasing, because that level of netball would hold up against. I'd love to see them play in some much bigger areas and see how they do, because I think they'd stand up really well.
Yeah, well, they set the benchmark, don't they, really high. So good on them. And good luck to St Arnaud in that game too. But let's talk about the remaining 3 games, because there's some big games amongst them. First of all, Donald versus Birchip Watcham. So Birchip hit the road. They take Donald on in Donald, and this is a big game for both teams.
It is, and it's a bit of a danger game, because you don't know, like, Donald is sitting second bottom on the ladder, but they've got nothing to lose. They've got youth, they've got experience. You never know what they're going to throw out. They've had sort of different teams each week, so I'd hopefully Birchip can continue and build on the confidence that they've taken away from the ball game. But this is a real danger game. They need to assert the same level of commitment and confidence right from the get-go. They've got to commit themselves to the full 60 minutes and don't let Donald get a look in at all, I think is key.
Yeah, well, Donald win this and they tack back on. So then you've got a race in 7 all of a sudden. But Birchip, which if they win this, they keep edging closer to that top 4. And you could just about put a line through Donald, I reckon, if they don't win this week.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, I'm still very wary. Like, they've always got really good experience through Xanthi and Sarah Adams, and their youth is just coming off a really big, tournament season. They've got a lot of really talented kids, and they're really going from strength to strength each week. So I think really important for Birchip to really, particularly in defence, to get on top of the Donald goalers and make sure that they're not converting is probably where the game will be won and lost, I would suggest.
And you can toss a coin for match of the round out of the last 2. We'll start with Charlton and Bort. Good luck picking a winner here. Bort will be grumpy about last week. Charlton are flying. Good luck. Pick me a winner.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? But I'm going to say that Georgia Sheen and her Bort girls are going to come back from a loss last week. They're going to want to lose 2 in a row. And I'd say they'll, it'll be close. It'll be really close. But I think their mid-court needs to stand up and their defence needs to switch on right from the get-go. So I think I'm going to pick Georgia to lift them this week and be best on.
Okay, there you go. Well, the winner will lock down second spot. So, and then the last game, the winner will hold down 4th spot on the ladder. You're on the road to Sea Lake to take on Sea Lake Dan Daly and put some of those lessons you learnt last week into practice.
Yeah. We are. We sure are. We're keen as mustard. Both sides will be. It'll be a great game. It was a great game last time. We drew with Sea Lake last time.
Yeah.
And some really good matchups across the court. So it'll be a really great game. I think again on Saturday. Hopefully not another draw. It's always a bit hard to endure 60 minutes for no winner. But hopefully on Saturday, hopefully that'll be us. We've got Sea Lake celebrating or commemorating the loss of 2 club icons throughout COVID. So a very special day to acknowledge the loss and impact of Maggie Stacey and Dennis Cox. So we're very privileged to be a part of that day and acknowledging those great club people for them.
All right. Well, been a long chat tonight, but we had plenty to go through. So good luck for your crew, Which Proof Narraport at Sea Lake. And we will catch up with you, Jenna, next week. All the best, mate.
Thank you.